Good evening and welcome to the Big Spring High Candidate Forum. I am Brendan Rogers, one of your student hosts this evening. We would like to thank the local media for helping promote this event and covering it. We would also like to thank the BSISD administration and our sponsors with the Interact organization, Elisa Bancroft, Amber Griffith, and Alan Morris. The student council sponsor is Portia Bryant. On behalf of Interact and Stuco, we would also like to thank the candidates for willing to serve and then for attending tonight's event. Tonight's candidate forum will follow this format. We will invite the candidates by race to give a 2-minute opening statement in alphabetical order. Then we will move to questions. For example, the candidates in the mayoral race will be introduced in alpha order, and then each will have 1 minute to respond to the question. Then we will follow the city council races by district and then the school board race. Each candidate will then give a closing statement.
Governor, introduce your person. Yes. This is the opening statement.
Okay. Hi, my name is Chloe Bustamante, and I am introducing David Mathis
For the opening statement.
for the opening statement.
Good evening, everyone. My name is David Mathis, and it is my great honor to run to be the mayor of Big Spring, Texas. I would like to first to thank you all for being here. I would like to thank the high school, the administration, Colonel Morris, and the students for participating in this. As your mayor, it is my intention to use every power of the office to build and maintain an even stronger and more welcoming community. I intend to take necessary steps to repair the infrastructure that in years past has served a population double what it is now. I intend to attract and retain long-term residents that will take pride in their community and put in the work to keep Big Spring beautiful. I will continue to support free enterprise and do what I can to support locally owned businesses and to invite others to invest here as well. I intend to put the same effort into being mayor that has propelled me to trainer and supervisory positions in previous jobs. At the state hospital, in a single year, I received 3 promotions. I intend to put in whatever work is necessary to provide the residents of Big Spring with the services and opportunities that they deserve. Thank you.
My name is Aliana Becerra, and I will be introducing Anna Scott.
Howdy y'all, my name is Anna Scott and I want to be your mayor. Now I have 4 key points for my platform, and that includes working on the animal shelter so that we can introduce a low-cost or a free spay and neuter program, as well as improving the infrastructure at the animal shelter. Second, I want to work on zoning in the city to update it, as well as enforcing existing ordinances. Third, I'd like to set forth a plan in order to update the water main system. This will take a little while and will live longer than my term as mayor, but if we can budget and plan accordingly, I believe we can get there. And then fourth, I would like to reintroduce cardboard recycling to Big Spring. Now, I am the youngest candidate that's running right now, and I am so ready to bring new ideas and new energy to Big Spring. I want to make Big Spring a town that people can be proud to claim that they're from. Instead of just saying, oh, I'm from West Texas, I want people to proudly proclaim, I'm from Big Spring. And I want people to know what Big Spring is. So a vote for me is a vote for a stronger, more beautiful Big Spring. My name is Anna Scott, and I want to be your mayor. Thank you.
Shannon Thomason cannot be here today, so we're going to try our best to show the videos he gave us.
Hello, Big Spring. and a special hello to the Big Spring High Student Council and Interact. My name is Shannon Thompson, and I'm running to represent you as your mayor. First off, I'd like to thank the students for organizing this forum. I'm so very proud of you for taking an interest in your city. I apologize for not being able to be with you in person this evening, but I do work for a living, and sometimes my duties do take me away from home. So I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you via video this evening. I'm running on a very simple platform: get back to basics. Our streets and water are in desperate need of repair and renovation. Our essential city services such as police, fire, and sanitation are short-staffed, and the city is suffering because of it. I want to see a renewed concentration on keeping these foundations of our city in good working order and seeing that they are fully staffed and properly equipped. And along the way, I want to help Big Spring grow and prosper by weaning the city off of reliance on property taxes and expanding our other revenue streams like sales taxes. Ultimately, setting the city property tax rate to 0%.
Andrew Roberts.
I'm Carlos Paredes, and I'd like to introduce Debbie Wegman.
Good evening. It's great to be here with y'all tonight. As they said, I am Debbie Wegman, and I'm going to tell you just a little bit about myself tonight, tell you why I think I'm your best choice for mayor. I've been a resident of Big Spring for over 45 years, and during that time I've been very active in our community, serving on a number of boards and committees that do good things in Big Spring. In my job history, I worked for the State of Texas Health and Human Services Commission for 26 years, retired from that position, and worked for the City of Big Spring for 14 years. In my years of employment, approximately 20 of those years, I served in supervisory or management capacity. So I feel like that has given me a good basics for being the mayor. In 2018, I retired from paid employment, but I'm still very active in our community, and I serve on a number of boards and committees still. I have firsthand knowledge of the city's budgeting procedures. As a city director, I had my own division to budget and take care of, and I also have firsthand knowledge of the city's policies and procedures. With all that I'm involved in now locally, you can see I really care about Big Spring, and that's why I chose to run for mayor. I want the best for our town and for its residents, and I want to serve in a position where I can do this. I'd work with the other city council members and the city staff to work on things such as our infrastructure, our streets, and anything that helps maintain quality of life for our citizens. I want to also continue researching recycling possibilities. I've worked with Keep Big Spring Beautiful for a number of years, and we would certainly like to see that happen. And it's really hard to keep our city clean. Our downtown area is beginning to thrive, and so many things are happening there, and I want to see us to continue to work on that also. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Maddie Miller, and I'm introducing Dylan Archer.
Good evening. My name is Dylan Archer Boucher, and if you saw me speak at the Hotel Settles, you know public speaking is not my forte, so try to bear with me. I am running for City Council District 4, and I work in Midland, and I get a lot of time driving back and forth, and I was thinking one day that the reason why I was running is it occurred to me one day that here soon I'm going to be a dad. And that, I don't know if it just hit me like a ton of bricks, but I started thinking that the world I want to bring my daughter in. And of course, on the local scale, it's Big Spring. And so when I get to think about what Big Spring is like, there's plenty that I love about Big Spring. I've served with the volunteer fire department for 2 years. I absolutely loved it. I love serving the citizens of Big Spring, getting to do blood drives here, getting to supply the hospitals with a safe and ample blood supply. I love each and everything about Big Spring, but there are things that need to be fixed, such as our roads. One day I was driving home and a manhole was left halfway open to the point where I accidentally ran it over and broke my oil pan. There's stuff like that, and our water is undrinkable, pretty much. It's non-potable. Not 2 weeks ago, we got a letter in the mail saying that the water has failed to pass TCEQ, their survey. And I want to, of course, lower property tax, because another thing I want to bring my daughter in is a safe and steady home. And I want the best for my daughter, but at the same time, I want the best for Big Spring. So again, my name is Dylan Archer Pochet, and I'm running for City Council District 4.
Up next is Shonda Folsom.
Hello, my name is Shonda Folsom, and I'm running for City Council District 4. I wanted to introduce myself to those of you who don't already know me. I am a lawyer here in town, which also means I'm a small business owner here in Big Spring. I'm a mom of 2 twin boys who are 8. I am a wife, and I'm a resident of District 4. I'm running for City Council as a continuation of my involvement in public affairs and interests going on in Big Spring. I've been a member of the Greater Big Spring Rotary for years, including being a board member in the past. I am also on the Finance Committee at the First United Methodist Church, and I'm on my 2nd year of being the Finance Committee Chair for that church. That means that I have been overseeing quarterly reports about the budget for the church, and am now responsible for preparing that report and taking it to the Administrative Council to be approved for the entire church. I'm also in my 2nd year of being an Assistant Cub Scout den leader. And as part of that, we are interested in teaching the next generation how to take care of our community, how to be responsible with what they do outdoors, and getting them motivated to be involved and be responsible, cleaning up what's going on. One of the ways that I have found to do that with my boys and with the boys in our den is a little healthy competition. So what I would suggest to increase community involvement in Big Spring is along the lines of the KBEST radio station Holiday Lights competition, doing a competition for before and after pictures of cleanup in areas around town. Doing also National Night Out in August with the police department, having people take pictures and show what's going on with their block parties, how they're getting to know their neighbors and how they're getting involved. I think making it something fun and exciting and a little competitive is a more fun way to get people involved and to keep people involved for the long run than something that involves fines or fees or punishment. In general, as a city council person, I think my biggest responsibility would be listening to the people who are in my district, who are my neighbors, and empowering them to keep making Big Spring better.
Up next is Gloria McDonald.
Hello, I'm Gloria McDonald, and first I want to thank Mr. Morris and the students. This is great training for them to learn to be leaders. A little about me before I go into a platform. I've lived in Big Spring since 1946, off and on. I've gone off for training in different areas, but this has been my home. I went to grade school here, junior high, graduated high school. At 13, I just got into my love, the medical field. So after graduation, I moved to Dallas and got my training in x-ray. That was my profession for about 20 years, 25 years. 47, I went to college and got my nursing degree. With the nursing degree is where I accelerated with in my career. I retired at that career as a director in nursing. During those years, there were some difficulties. One being the accepted practice of smoking everywhere. hospital rooms with oxygen going in patients and people smoking. I appeared before the City Council about this subject. That appearance spurred me to want to be in civic involvement. I've been in civic involvement about 30 years now. I have a list, and if you would like to know my accomplishments, this is it. And they're here. You can pick up one if you'd like to know me better. What am I going to do for Big Spring? I work for Big Spring every day I wake up. I work on boards. I work on committees. I work with the city staff at the city hall. I know budget. I know mostly how to get things done. Sometimes you can't get them done by yourself. I plan to organize an advisory committee of my district from the voting list and consult them. Thank you.
Now let's hear Adriel Saldivar.
Good evening. My name is Adriel Saldivar. I'm running for District 4. I was born and raised here in Big Spring, and I did what I call, after going to West Texas State, which is now West Texas A&M, I did the Texas tour. I went from Canyon, Dallas, Houston, and Austin, and I ended up back home one day, and so I've been home since 2008. The vast experiences I've dealt with is a lot of legal work that I've done, various things from insurance planning to insurance law, toxic tort law, casino gaming and licensing, oil and gas, and currently working for a nonprofit. And also I'm an entrepreneur. I have a business here, a safety business here in Big Spring. My experiences have been vast. I've been paralegal, contract specialist. So pretty much I've dealt with a lot of the work involving. And once I became involved with the community here in Big Spring, with the growing issues, I figured I'll start with committees, different committees, organizations. So I pretty much put my name in there. So I've been pretty much involved, too many to name at this point. But again, I wanted to address it for someone that has experience. You got to look at the experience of someone. And I'm hoping that you look at my experiences because it's on my bio under Adriel Saldivar, Facebook, District 4. Take a look at it. And again, I would like to represent District 4 and be your effective leader. Thank you.
And up next is David Scott.
It's a little low for me. My name's David Scott. I am running for City Council seat number 4, and I do not do this well. I've heard a lot of great things tonight, a lot of good folks with a lot of qualifications, and the only thing I bring is I'm a working man. I've been doing the same job that I've been doing since 1988. I fix things. I look for problems, diagnose them, figure out what it takes to fix them, and get them done. That's what I bring. I've been a supervisor. I was a business manager for 2 years at a satellite shop here in Big Spring. I was the sole employee in charge from sweeping the floor, taking out trash, to taking care of customers, handling the money, all the way from the bottom to the top. The parent company was in Abilene, and they put a lot of trust and a lot of faith in me that I would do my job and do it well, and I believe I did. The store's still here, still operating. I'm thankful for this opportunity. I just hope that you put faith and trust in me to do a good job for you. I say I'm a fixer. I look for problems and figure out what's wrong and take care of them. So, thank you.
Next is Daniel Moreno.
First of all, I'd like to thank God, the Big Spring High School Library, and the Student Council for hosting this event. And thank you again to all the candidates, because y'all are leaders too in this community. If y'all don't know me, y'all probably think I'm in high school because I look pretty young. I'm 25 years old. I'm running for City Council District 5. And like I've said on Facebook, and my campaign is like, I want to fix the water, the roads, the infrastructure, and cleaning up the city. And we got to get clean and dependable water so we can fix these water breaks, so we don't just patch them, but we actually fix the whole water line so we don't have the same leaks just going over and over again. And roads are also in that same category, because we also got to fix the roads in a timely manner so that our citizens can drive through these streets and we can have a nice, clean, and paved road. And then infrastructure, we want to spend our money, you know, on services like sanitation, roads, and water, and, you know, not spend our money on projects that we don't really need right now, but maybe everyday necessities like water and roads. And cleaning up the city is where the city of Big Spring and the citizens too, we need to join as one and start doing our part in cleaning, picking up parts of the city that maybe people don't see. And it'll show the citizens that we do care about the spots that no one really goes to. And my name is Daniel Moreno, and I would love your vote on May 4th.
Next, can we have Camila Strandy?
I grew up as a fifth-generation resident. When I was a little girl, I used to go downtown with my grandpa, and he would show me all of the buildings, and he would tell me what used to be there. Those buildings were dead. And those buildings told me that Big Spring was dead. Most of the people I knew wanted to leave this town and never get sucked back in. But I longed for a Big Spring and a downtown that I never knew. And I wanted to live here. I stayed here intentionally because I wanted to change here. My business is now downtown, and I'm the chairperson for a committee that is envisioning our ideal downtown and what that will look like and be like. Downtown isn't the only issue I care about, but it's the one that I have the most experience with. In a book called Building a Vibrant Community by Quint Strider, there's a great deal of evidence for why downtown is the place to start the change for a community. Downtown's the heart and soul of our community. It's the image that we show the world. It's how people judge our entire community. Since the Settles reopened, a lot of enthusiasm has taken place downtown, and I've spent the last 3 years working as a business owner to change the image of Big Spring. I've worked at making Big Spring a great place to visit. I've spent this time telling our community that Big Spring can be more than what they think it is. We're not like Austin or like Fredericksburg. We're Big Spring, and we're already changing. I'm so thankful that I've had the opportunity to be a part of that, and I will continue to work to change Big Spring as a community. So I'm Camila Strandy, and I'm running for City Council District 5.
Up next is Nadine Reyes.
Good evening. My name is Nadine Reyes, and I am running for School Board District 7. A little bit about myself. I am a Big Spring native. I graduated from Big Spring High School in '88. I am a proud parent of 3 Big Spring High School graduates, and I have a passion for our children's education in the future. I believe that changing the perception of our school system is vital to the success of our community and the future of our youth. I was one of those that said, I'm leaving and I'm never coming back. And I'm proud to say that things have changed, and I've seen things change. Some things for the better, and some things for not so good. I know the school system, it hurts me to see things on Facebook that say the school is horrible here. Because I went here. Sorry, I get emotional. My kids went here. So, one of the things that I'd like to do is change the perception, and my platform would be focusing on bullying, cyberbullying, and suicide awareness. I think these are very important things that need to be addressed, and I think that I could be a good part of that. Thank you. I'm Nadine Reyes.
Let's welcome Fabian Serrano.
Good evening, I'm Fabian Serrano, and I'm running for re-election of the Big Spring ISD District 7 school board position. Been on the school board now for 5 years, and a little bit more about myself. Graduate of Forest Sand High School, graduated from Howard College, graduated from UTPB. I am the eldest of 4 siblings, and I'm the only one who has stayed here in Big Spring. Everybody else is gone. I have a sister who is a bilingual education teacher in Orlando, Florida, a brother who is a senior tax supervisor for USAA corporate headquarters in San Antonio, and the youngest of all, he's a second lieutenant in the United States Marine Corps, currently, this one gets me a little choked up too, he's the baby, currently in TBS, the basic school, and then he'll be attending flight training here pretty soon in Pensacola, Florida. More about myself, I worked for the Howard County Adult Probation Office for 6 years, currently working for Howard College, been there 11 years, so I'm familiar with higher education. I was an instructor, I'm currently a supervisor, and I'm overseeing all of operations, safety and security district-wide for Howard College, so that's the Howard College campus here in Big Spring, Swid, San Angelo, and Lamesa. A little bit about my platform. I just want to continue doing the work that we have been doing with the school district. Part of that, for example, would be continuing the 3 goals that we have set for the school district. The first one is to increase reading scores for our elementary kids for K through 2nd, for kindergarten through 2nd. And also the second one is similar to that, is to continue increasing our reading scores for our 3rd through 8. And then the last one is to increase CTE completions. And so we've partnered up with Howard College and created those pathways, and not just Howard College, but other nearby colleges and universities to create that pathway and complete those CTE completions. Thank you.
The first question we're asking tonight is, what do you believe is the most important issue facing the position for which you're running, and what do you intend to do about it? Please welcome David Mathis.
That is an excellent question. Thank you. I believe that the biggest issue facing the office of the mayor is building a feeling of trust from every citizen. You know, every citizen needs to feel like their needs are being met. The north side, the south side, the east side, the west side. You know, I haven't served on a whole lot of city boards. I've only been a resident of Big Spring for 6 years. But I have served as a representative and treasurer for 2 501c3 charitable organizations. I am currently the treasurer for the Big Spring Centennial Lions Club. I tried to join the Howard County Child Welfare Board, but they told me I needed to wait until I was no longer a licensed foster care provider. And I feel like that's probably a bigger calling than joining another board. You know, I have a servant's heart. That is the absolute truth. I have a servant's heart. And that is why I, David Mathis, am asking for your vote to be the next mayor of Big Spring.
Up next is Anna Scott.
I believe the biggest issue that's facing the mayor position in Big Spring is creative problem solving. We have a set budget every year, and every year we have more and more concerns given to the city council, to the mayor, and more concerns rising on the daily. So I believe that creative problem solving is the biggest issue facing the mayor as of right now. How I'm going to go about that? I'm very creative at solving problems. I'm starting a brewery here in town, which required going through the zoning board, working closely with the employees of the city, and creating new brews, creating new ideas, trying to figure out how to responsibly create and manage new equipment for the brewery. My name is Anna Scott, and I believe creative problem solving is the issue right now. Thank you.
I believe that most of the issues with the city can be addressed by changing our way of thinking. We need to start being more proactive instead of reactive. When you change the oil in your car, rotate tires, and check the belts, these are all examples of preventative maintenance, proactively preventing problems from occurring. And when a pothole is ignored to the point that somebody bends a rim, then it's fixed. That's an example of being reactive. All too often, the basics are ignored until they become a problem. Sometimes a big problem that's very expensive to fix. So they reactively slap a Band-Aid fix on it. Being reactive doesn't fix problems. It treats symptoms. Being proactive gets out ahead of issues before they become problems.
Please welcome Debbie Wegman.
I believe the biggest issue facing our community today is just creating quality of life for our citizens in any way we can do that. We've all talked about the infrastructure needs. We need to have better water lines. And in turn, that will help some of our street problems. Excuse me. Keeping our town clean is another way that we can create quality of life for our citizens. Like I said before, I've been a long-time proponent of Keep Big Spring Beautiful. I also would like to see us reinstate our large item pickup that the city did a few years ago, and I think that would help the illegal dumping problem that we have. However, citizens still also need to be held accountable for their actions in keeping their property clean. Our downtown is thriving now, and I want to continue to see that grow. Thank you.
And now for Dylan Archer.
All right. Anybody that knows me, I'd like to keep things pretty simple. For me, I want to improve the quality of life for the citizens of Big Spring. That includes reducing property taxes in my district, and I've seen a lot of houses in my district start suddenly popping up for sale. And to me, if we could reduce property taxes to a goal of 0%, then that would improve the amount of people in Big Spring. And I want to do this by decreasing the wasteful spending that we're currently wasting our budget on and increasing other revenue streams. I want to bring business into Big Spring. Also, I want to fix the infrastructure, such as the roads, and I want to fix all the water lines. I know that's a hefty goal, but I believe that if we could come together, that we could achieve it. Thank you.
Shonda Folsom.
Hello, I'm Shonda Folsom, and I believe one of the biggest issues facing the City Council is an issue of communication. I think we need to have more clear communication between the city and the citizens as to what the city council is doing and why. And I believe we need to have a more clear flow of information from the citizens back to the city council. That's why I believe it's important to be a resident of the district where you are located, so that these are your neighbors, people you run into at Walmart or H-E-B, people who feel comfortable picking up the phone to call you to say, hey, here's what's going on, or why is the city doing it like this? And I think that using social media more and more on behalf of the city is a way to reach the next generation of folks, to let them know, here's what we're doing and here's why. I think the more that the citizens understand why the budget is being spent the way it is, the more comfortable they will be, and the more we understand what their concerns are, the better we can make decisions that benefit them.
Up next, Gloria McDonald.
Living in a town that's over 100 years old, there are lots of issues, and there's always going to be lots of issues that we don't even know about. One of the big issues that I hear from the people in my district, which is 4, is the appearance of the town. It's very difficult to clean up, fix up, paint up. When you do that, taxes go up. So people don't want to do that. There's we mentioned the large pickup days. I think that's a wonderful idea to reestablish. What I'd like to see happen is one day a month have a free dump day, so we could take our trash and it not be on the side of the road. That would help the appearance of our community and our town a great deal if we had a free dump day. That's one of the ways. Next time I'll tell you my other one. Thank you very much.
Now let's hear Adriel Sandoval. Sorry.
I think we all share the same platform this evening with the ongoing city issues. My intention is to become familiar with District 4, their concerns and any new concerns that may come up. So again, I would prioritize them from the highest priority to the lowest priority. We have to look at, different options. Have they been addressed before, these issues? What are the processes involved? And also, how do we determine as far as if this is an effective way of that process? And then last but not least, and I've always preached this, when you take a job, there's some accountability involved. So again, being that it's an issue, who is accountable here? Thank you.
And now for David Scott.
I get to do this again. I'll just duck down this time so way. Okay, how's this? Okay. As a citizen of the right smack dab center of District 4, I like living there where I live. The neighborhood's nice. People take responsibility there, and it's a nice neighborhood. Not far down from where I live, there are some rundown, dilapidated houses. City of Big Spring has been spending money, tearing them down, hauling them off to the dump. Why not offer some incentive to fix those up instead of just letting them fall apart? Property taxes would be higher on a place that's livable than a place that dogs and animals live in, and we could fix that. Thank you.
Up next is Daniel Moreno.
Trust is the most important issue when running for this position, because you have to be willing to let the citizens of Big Spring trust that you're making the right decisions at your position. And you have to be willing to be open and transparent to the citizens and willing to talk to people to get their trust and get them to truly believe that what we're doing is for the rights of our citizens. And without trust, then the citizens that won't believe in what we're doing, and we as leaders of the city will not have support from them. So we must get their trust and give them our time and effort to achieve and make Big Spring prosper.
Up next, Camila Strandy.
Many of our citizens feel demoralized by the way our city looks. We need to enforce code on our main streets, the entrances to the city and downtown, by tearing down already falling down structures, cleaning up general debris and trash, and not allowing boarded up or broken windows. Code enforcement would not require additional workers. It is strictly about our willingness to expect more from commercial property owners. Research has proven that this method will lead to citizens who are more motivated and excited to be part of our community. They will take more pride in their homes and be more likely to clean up and less likely to litter. It also would lower crime rates. It would make businesses more likely to move here. It'll make people, those who will work in those businesses, more likely to move here. It will increase tourism and increase the tax base and therefore city revenue. We have a lot of problems here, but cleaning up is the beginning to solving all of them, and I have a concrete plan for how we can do that.
Up next, Nadine Reyes.
One of the biggest things that I feel is a concern facing our school system is perception and reputation. I know I constantly hear people say, you know, we need to bring new businesses to Big Spring, and I agree. But along with that comes people. And when people, when we're trying to bring new businesses and people start to look about moving to Big Spring, they look at two things: cost of living and housing and schools. And I'll tell you, that's the biggest problem. I work at the hospital, and a lot of times when we get physicians or nurses that think about relocating, those are the things that they think about. When we send them out with the realtors, and the realtor themselves sometimes will say, you probably don't want to send them to Big Spring, maybe Forest or Coahoma. They can go to HEB, and someone will definitely tell them, you probably don't want to go to Big Spring. Well, I want to change that. Thank you.
Please welcome Fabian Serrano.
One of the biggest concerns that I see Big Spring ISD facing is teacher recruitment and retention. And this is a problem that we share across the Permian Basin, across the West Texas region. But I feel that our school district, we're doing a good job compared to everybody else. And so one of the things as board president that I've been part of is amending a policy DC local, which allows our administration to remove the responsibility from the board, but then delegate that to the superintendent, where the superintendent can actually give a contract to a potential candidate for a teacher's position. And so that's one of the first steps that we've implemented into alleviating this process. But also, there is now a program called Tech Teach. I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but it's a program that Howard College has started that the local school districts have also been part of. And so with that program, it's a fast-track program that allows a potential student to become a teacher, and it's a grow-your-own type program where we can keep the teachers here. Thank you.
Before I ask this next question, would anybody like us to restate the question throughout the... No? Okay. Question number 2 is, what unique skill set do you bring to the table? David Mathis.
Another excellent question. Thank you very much. You know, it is my sincere hope that the attributes that I'm about to list are not unique to me. But what I feel like I bring to the table is not only my willingness to put in the work for a job well done, but also my commitment to do what I can to help the most people. My favorite part about the debate was Shannon saying that, David's right. David already said that. I am willing to learn and I'm willing to do things. I'm willing to do things that sometimes other people won't do. Right now, I am administering high school equivalency exams to the inmates here at our prisons because nobody else wanted to do it. If it needs to be done, I will do it. My name is David Mathis, and I would like for you to vote for me.
Up next, Anna Scott. I'm freshly graduated with honors and a degree in accounting. What that means is I'm very comfortable looking at budgets, setting new budgets, working with people, speaking, of course, as you can tell, and dealing with numbers on a daily basis. Additionally, I graduated with honors with a degree in writing. So communication comes naturally to me. And I realize that in communication, it requires listening more than it requires speaking. So I bring those to the board as well as a lot of energy, new ideas, and a drive to see Big Spring thrive. My name is Anna Scott. Thank you.
I bring West Texas heart, a Christian soul, a farm boy's work ethic, a neighbor's openness. I bring decades of supervisory experience in the business sector, millions of dollars worth of financial experience with budgets, projects, and negotiations. I bring a unique way of seeing a problem and being able to find out-of-the-box creative solutions for it. I bring real-world training and actual experience in responding to life-threatening situations in a calm, collected, and professional manner.
Up next, Debbie Wakeman.
I have firsthand knowledge and experience with city budgeting and city processes that I gained during my city employment. As a department director, I was responsible for developing and managing my budget. I also have knowledge of many of the city policies due to my years of working there. I've attended almost every city council meeting in the last 14 years. My years of management positions and my experience give me the experience needed to help guide the city. Thank you.
And now Dylan Archer.
Thank you. I bring to the idea that I am a very optimistic person. I always look at the good in things. And I'm almost the total opposite of my dad, who's almost like a pessimist. But me and my dad have always gotten along, and he always compliments my optimism. And another thing I like to bring to the table is I have a lot of fresh ideas that I would like to bring out. I also believe that Big Spring, that the city council could use someone young like myself, because as far as I believe, I am the youngest person running in the entire election. I'm only 24 years old, but I believe that Big Spring could use that. And I also bring to the table my sense of calmness. And like I mentioned earlier, I work with formerly United Blood Services, and I'm sure anybody who works in the medical field here knows that to stick a needle in somebody takes a certain sense of calm. But that's one thing that I'm constantly 24/7 is I am calm, so I don't like things get to me. Thank you.
Next is Shonda Folsom.
The thing that I bring to the table that is unique to me is that I am a local lawyer. That means that I've spent years involved with the concerns of citizens here and doing the kinds of things that I would need to do as a city council person on a daily basis as my job. that involves reading things like codes and policies and deciphering those in ways that make sense in plain English. It involves listening to people's concerns and what their problems are and helping them find creative solutions. It involves listening to a variety of people's opinions and concerns and trying to bring balance to those, find something that works for the best outcome for everyone. And because of that, I feel like I'm uniquely suited to run for City Council in District 4.
Next, Gloria McDonald.
The skills I bring to this job, my greatest asset is the skills of experience. And I've had plenty of experience. I've had it with city government. I've had it with local government. I'm on an international board, so I deal with Canada, United States, and Mexico. So I know how to work through those situations. Another thing we need to think about in skill sets and in bringing things to Big Spring, we are a certified retirement community. What makes your town grow is people. We need to have a retirement village. We need to build so those people want to be here. What they want is fun. They come with money. They come with an asset to people. So I'd like to work on that, seeing if we can't have a retirement community in this area for those people. Thank you.
Please welcome Adriel Saldivar.
My unique skill has been, for the last 30 years, working in the law field. So my unique skill, I'll keep it plain and simple. Organization and planning. Based on that, that's my experience, and that's what I bring to the table. Thank you.
Up next is David Scott.
Feel free to adjust the
I'll just squat down behind it. I'm good with that. The way nobody else has to adjust it. Well, as I told you, what I bring is, I'm a diagnostician. Is the machine running well? Are there issues? How can they be fixed? What is it going to take to fix them? That's me. I'm a working man. I've done this, like I say, same job, 30 years. I look at the situation, look at problems, and figure them out, and move on to the next one. There's a lot of things that are going on in our city, a lot of good things, some that need to be dealt with. We just need to figure out what to do and how to do them. Thank you.
Next is Daniel Moreno.
I'm a people person, and I'll talk to anyone, regardless of what street you live on, your gender, your political party, your race, religion, sexual orientation, upper, middle, lower class. I just love talking to people in general. And in this negative society, you see everything so negative on social medias and in society. I'm gonna be the light and wherever I go, and I want to be the most positive person that I can be. And I am a leader, and I want to lead by example. And I strive to be the best person that I can be every single day, with small things like opening up the door for someone or smiling at someone, because the small things can lead to the bigger joys in life.
Next, Camila Strandy.
I own a business, which means I have experience working with a budget. I believe in a balanced budget, and if our business is not in the black, we don't get paid. I also have experience managing people, and when I say managing, I mean holding people accountable. I first learned this teaching junior high and high school, and it's all about relationships. I learned that you have to constantly be building that relationship and have it be positive so that you can hold them accountable. Sometimes with disciplinary action if that's required. My employees say that they really love working with us and for us. Also, I'm cooperative, but I'm willing to stand my ground. I can say no if everyone else is saying yes, and I can ask questions even if no one else is willing to do that. I'm smart, research-driven, practical, and I have common sense, and these are all essential skills for a qualified city council representative.
Up next, Nadine Reyes.
What's my unique skill? I have over 18 years of human resource experience because my passion is for people in our community. I've served on several boards, including the YMCA, to give our youth somewhere safe to go. I also served as a court-appointed advocate for CASA. And through the years of my kids growing up, I served over 11 years on some type of PTO board, one way or another. I also served on the Parent Advisory Council for BSI and Big Spring Junior High. And I also served as on the Parent and Community Involvement Committee. As a parent, I've always felt that it's very important if there's a problem to be part of the solution. And so, therefore, I have participated in several boards to make a difference. Thank you.
Up next, Fabian Serrano.
Number one skill set that I bring to the table is experience. I've been part of several boards. The Teen Court Board, Howard County Teen Court Board, also the Federal Prisons Community Relations Board, currently also part of the Salvation Army Board, and of course, been on the Big Spring ISD Board for 5 years. I have been the secretary of the Big Spring ISD School Board, currently serving as the board president. And so I have that experience serving with boards, but also have experience with education and the education profession. Currently working with Howard College, been part of the higher education profession now for 11 years. I started out as an instructor out at the federal prison, where I developed and deployed a workforce readiness program teaching inmates how to get a job and how to maintain the job. So teaching everything from resume writing to soft skills. And so it's been everything from developing curriculum to now currently serving as a chief operations and safety security officer. So it's been everything from developing curriculum to making sure the lights are turned on. Thank you.
The third question we're asking everybody this evening is, when making decisions, what is your guiding principle? David Mathis.
This is my favorite question because it cuts to the quick of who I am. When I make a decision, my guiding principle is, how will this affect those around me? How can I help? What can I do to be of assistance? How can I make things easier? Not just for myself, but for anyone who might come behind me. I want to do right, not only for me and mine, but for you and yours. And that is why I, David Mathis, am asking for your vote as the next mayor of Big Spring, Texas.
Next, Anna Scott. I believe accountability takes a large part of the decision-making process. I believe that the participants of a decision are accountable to the constituents and the process. Thank you.
Never, ever, under any circumstances, panic. Panic decisions can kill you. Stay calm. Take your time. Be professional. Find good solutions. In my business, we have an old saying. Rule number 1, fly the airplane. Rule number 2, when in doubt, see rule number 1. Now what that means for you non-aviators is this: maintain control of what you can control. Don't worry about what you can't.
Let's hear Debbie Wegman.
When making decisions, my primary guiding principle is the Word of God. In addition to following His Word each day, I also like to follow the four-way test that's given to us in our Rotary Club. I'm a member of the Greater Big Spring Rotary Club, and every week we say these words and we mean them when we say them. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? I believe these ideals are great guides for decision making. Thank you.
Next up is Dylan Archer.
For me, when I make decisions, I always ask myself, is it efficient? Or is it helpful? If not, could it be improved? Or is it completely unnecessary? These are what I value most when I make my decisions. And I believe that it is important to value efficiency and helpfulness and responsibility altogether. Thank you.
Shannon Folsom.
I believe when we're making decisions about what we need to do, we need to first look at what our priorities are. When we're talking about a city council or any city organization, I think the primary principle needs to be what will bring us the best outcome for the largest number of residents. And then if that is the priority, does this particular policy, event, issue fall in that category? Or are we getting distracted off on a minor issue? By setting those priorities first, it helps us keep focused on what we need to be doing, because there's always more work to be done than time to do it.
Up next, Gloria McDonald.
When you make any decision, be it city, family, personal, whatever, you first have to know what the problem is. And you have to know both sides of the problem, because sometimes what looks like on the surface is not what really the problem is. Once you find the problem by research, then you have to research to find the solution. And research, sometimes in a city problem, you may have to drive statewide. You may have to drive to other cities to see if they have the same problem. This I have done on several occasions for the city. I've driven all over the state to investigate something new, some problem they've had, and this works in making a solution. Final making it is calling on my advisory committee for help.
Please welcome Adriel Saldivar.
The question is making decisions and the guiding principle. I always tell my coworkers, as we gather to do any projects or any type of work involving a group, a team, think outside of the box. You know, don't be satisfied with just the answer. Think outside of that box. Weigh it out. These options are not textbook. This is not something you can Google or Yahoo. These are years of work experience that we learn, we kind of grow with each other and find out what's going to work. Think outside of the box. As I move forward, involve myself with District 4, I look at your vote saying, I am determined and confident that I have the answer for you. Thank you.
Up next, David Scott.
I will move it a little this time, so it's hard to get down like that anymore. I agree with you, Ms. Bugman, morality. That's the choice. Not all make it, and that's a personal choice, but that's my choice. The decision-making, is it right? Is it good? And then most important, who benefits from it? Is it this small group, that small group, or is there a happy medium that we can come to and include more of the group? And that's where I go. Thank you.
Daniel Marino.
With these decisions, you want to make the decision that's best for everyone. And, you know, being on the city council or the mayor, you're going to make decisions that people are going to like, and you're going to make decisions that people aren't going to like. And with that, you're just going to have to go with your gut, because you have to review and see what the outcome is and let it be the best decision. And we want to make decisions that are going to better our city and with the best results that our city truly needs. And just like the decisions we do in everyday life, we must be willing to be responsible for these decisions in which we choose to better ourselves today and for the future.
Next, Camila Strandy.
When making decisions, I use a method called the 5 whys, and which has you ask why until you can get to the root cause of the problem. And then I try to choose a solution that's as win-win as I can. My guiding principle asks, is it fair to all concerned?
And now Nadine Reyes.
My guiding principle is pretty simple, and it's maintaining integrity and professionalism at all times. Make sure that you are fair and consistent to everyone concerned. Thank you.
Please welcome Fabian Serrano.
My guiding principle is if we can be proactive about it, we will be proactive about it. Secondly, being ethical. And with that, I mean doing what's in the best interest for the school district, what's in the best interest for the students, but also what's in the best interest for this community. And so being ethical is big with me. And most importantly, praying about this decision that I'm going to be making. Thank you.
The final question we're asking this evening is, when seeking solutions, what is the process or method that you use? David Mathis.
Whenever I am trying to find a solution to the problem, first I do a whole lot of research. I find every piece of information that I can find that might help me to make a decision regarding a problem. I make not one, but several plans of action. You have to plan for an inevitability. I look for people with the knowledge, and the experience to assist me in making my decisions, a decision that will be equitable and fair for everyone with the least negative effects. Yes, my notes. I do this for every problem that I'm facing, whether it's personal, financial, with a job, just any problem that may present itself to me. And if you believe that your mayor should be open to suggestions and willing to listen to public comments regarding all of the issues facing this community, then I encourage you to vote for me, David Mathis.
Up next, Anna Scott.
To find a solution, I have 4 steps. First, I need to determine what the problem is. I need to separate the facts from the fiction. The second step is to generate many possible solutions. Not necessarily implement them, but create them. That way we can have a range that benefits X group, Y group, and all of the above. My third step is to evaluate these alternatives. That way we can see if there's any bias or if there's more benefit towards one group. And my fourth step is, of course, to implement the solution that has been selected and to follow through and follow up with the solution, going back with the accountability from the last question. Thank you.
First and foremost, pray on it. If prayer isn't your thing, then meditate on it. Study the issue at hand. Make sure that the issue isn't just a symptom of a greater issue. Look for the most simple solution first. Ignore naysayers, but listen to the wisdom of experience. Find solutions that have worked for similar situations. Don't be afraid to get creative. Then, follow Davy Crockett's advice. Make sure you're right, then go ahead.
Please welcome Debbie Wagner.
Being a problem solver has always been something I enjoy. You can ask some of my previous employees, they bring me something that we need to do such and such, and I'm saying, well, you've got to tell me why before I'll go forth with that. I always say you have to research the topic, find out all the facts you can, contact experts. They know if it's a problem about water, contact some experts in some other city. Determine the impact on your decision, and then get a team around you and make that decision. Thank you.
Next up is Dylan Archer.
Like I mentioned earlier with efficiency, when I make a solution, I gather all my research and I talk to who I need to talk to. And I try to imagine the outcomes of every idea that comes to mind. And I try to find the most efficient and all-inclusive solution that would please as many people as I can, because in politics, you're not going to please everybody. And I also try to think of everyone's concerns and emotions to whatever the issue is, and I try to make everyone pleased with the solution. Thank you.
Shonda Folsom.
I am the mother to twin 8-year-old boys. As you can imagine, there's a lot of creative problem solving and solutions that have to happen at my house. To do that, I find that once we get everybody to stop squalling and get everybody calmed down, the first thing to do is look into what's really going on. We need to research the facts. What are the facts of what happened? And also, what are the opinions? Why did those things happen? What's the motivation behind the fight, the lost toy, the whatever? And then using that information, you can craft a solution that works for both sides. I find the same kind of process to work well in my legal practice. Calming people down, getting both the black and white facts, the code, the section that has to do with this, the contract that applies, and then also taking a look at the soft science of people's real concerns, their emotions, what's going on, and then working together to craft a solution for everyone.
Next, Gloria McDonald.
Well, I sort of answered that question last time, so I will tell you, in making these solutions and investigating, what you have to do is you do have to consult others. In the very end, I have a proven history of getting things done, and I think that's because I have a good solution-making progress. Thank you.
Welcome, Adriel Sandoval.
I have a phrase from the co-founder of Uber, Travis Kalanick. Every problem has a solution. You just have to be creative enough to find it. That pretty much what I attest to is I have to be creative in finding that solution. We live in a complex world. So again, this is my process method. I'm sure you have your own process method. Again, creative problem solving. Thank you.
Up next is David Scott.
In my profession, we use the 3 C's. First one being concern. We all have some. They're not alike, but they're concerns. The second one is kind of important. It's cause. What's bringing about this concern? Yes, water lines, streets, whatever the situation is. What's the cause? There's a bottom line to it. And finally, the correction. And it's not always easy to find. It's not always easy to figure out, and it's not always easy to work out. But there's always a way if there's a will. Thank you.
Daniel Moreno.
You have to be willing to find the root of the problem. And with the root, like weeds, you pull it out and you fix that solution. And you have to be willing to work as a team with your organization or your team so that you can overcome that problem and get a solution, and it'll be beneficial for everyone.
Next, Camila Strandy.
Along with the 5 whys that I mentioned before, I also use a planning model that I've been using for over 10 years from a book called Getting Things Done by David Allen. First, I defined the purpose and the principles that I'm going to use. This is where that why question is really important. Secondly, I envisioned the ideal outcome. What would it look like? What would it, feel like? Those kinds of things, depending on what the problem is. Next, I brainstorm all the possible solutions that meet those previous conditions. Then I analyze and organize the solutions so that I can pick one. And finally, I identify next actions and move forward. I have a lot of experience making decisions.
Up next is Nadine Reyes.
My method will probably sound like a bad word to most of these high school students, but my method is the STAR method. Through my years of human resource experience, I have used the STAR method when interviewing as well. But basically, you determine what the situation is, the problem, and the task. You do action, what do we have to do to accomplish this goal? And collectively come up with a solution. And then, of course, result, which is your end result, and did you accomplish what it was that you set out to do? You do a debriefing to find out what went right, what went wrong, and then that way you can make a good decision. Thank you.
Please welcome Fabian Serrano.
In making decisions, first and foremost, identifying the problem. First, we have to, dig into the weeds and identify, pinpoint exactly what the problem is. And like Ms. Wegman was saying, you have to build that team of experts. You have to have that network and research it. Ask these folks, talk to them so that history does not repeat itself. And, put a plan of action together, deploy that action. And then in the end, what I like to do is reevaluate everything. Did it work? If it didn't, go back and try again. And I'm not the kind of person that accepts it's always been done this way. This is the way we've always done it. Thank you.
Now for closing statements. David Mathis.
Thank you. As I said before, I have a servant's heart, and I have a fighting spirit. I heard several people here say that being calm was something that you probably should do. I may not always be calm, but I will fight for you. I want to thank all of you for coming out here tonight. Thank you again to the high school. Thank you again to the students. Thank you to all of the candidates who are willing to serve and who showed up. It is my great hope to be able to serve all of you and address the issues of infrastructure and attracting and retaining a population that will allow Big Spring to thrive. My name is David Mathis, and I look forward to your vote. Thank you.
Next, Anna Scott.
I would like to start by thanking Stuco and Interact and the adults that are here as well, and of course KBST, KBYG, and the Herald for covering this. It is great to see people excited and invested in the community. And remember, a vote for me is a vote for a stronger, more beautiful Big Spring. And I have the ambition, the drive, and the energy to accomplish great things with the citizens and the other city council members, and of course the city employees. And please, I'm asking for your vote either this Monday for early voting, yeah, it's already here, or this May 4th. Thank you.
Thanks again for giving me the opportunity to speak to you this evening. Now, I believe that Big Spring has big potential. I believe that we can fix our foundations, clean up, and make our city strong. I believe that we can attract new businesses, new residents, and help Big Spring to grow and prosper. I believe that we can help our current businesses and residents find new opportunities right here in our own hometown. I believe that we can put more money back in the coffers and pockets of all our businesses and citizens. But I also believe that none of this can happen without a change in Big Spring. Now, luckily, I believe that I can help make that change happen. Now, if you believe it's time for a change, I'd humbly ask for your vote on May 4th. For more info, type hashtag #FixBigSpring into any internet browser.
Please welcome Debbie Wavy.
Thank you again, and thank you to everyone who made this forum possible tonight. We appreciate your efforts. It is not only the responsibility of the mayor, the city council, but it's all in the city administration and employees. But it's the responsibility of every citizen of this community to take part in making our city a better place to live. We can all do that by being involved in your community. I encourage everyone to take part in some type of organizations that do great things for our city. I'm not a politician. I am a public servant. I want to serve as your mayor. Together, we can make a better Big Spring. I am Debbie Wegman, and I'd appreciate your vote. Thank you very much.
Next up is Dylan Archer.
All right, well, first off, I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you to the high school and Colonel Morris for being here, and I thank everybody else for being here to get to listen to all us candidates talk. And I thank everyone for being here, for putting an interest into Big Spring. In closing, I would like to say that I want to make Big Spring a better place, not only for me and my daughters and my wife, but for everyone in this room. It doesn't matter if you're a candidate, if you work outside of town, if you live here. I want to make your quality of life here in Big Spring better, not only for my constituents, but everyone in this room. And so I would definitely appreciate your vote. I am Dylan Archer Poche, and I'm running for City Council District 4.
Shonda Folsom.
I also want to thank everyone for making tonight possible and for joining us out here to listen to what we have to say. I appreciate how much the people in this town are invested in this town. I think we need some better communication between the city, the different organizations that are trying to do such good work here. And I think we need to find ways to connect the people who live here, who have the concerns, and who have perhaps a negative opinion with the folks who are doing the work, and get them involved, empower them to help with the solutions, help them understand where we're going and how we want to get there. I'm Shonda Folsom, and I am running for City Council District 4.
Next, Gloria McDonald.
I often, on the streets, wherever I go in the H-E-B, Walmart, I hear people say to me, the city ought to do this. The city ought to fix the streets. The city ought to fix the water. The city ought to. We are the city. Everybody here is the city. 7 people sitting on that dais up there is not the city. So I'm running for District 4, and I appreciate the vote. But I also appreciate everybody that supports me and helps clean up, fix up, paint up. Thank you.
Adriel Saldivar.
Pretty much had my speech written out, but I'm just kind of putting it out there. My name is Adriel Saldivar. I'm, of course, running for District 4. Again, I ask everyone that's a registered voter to come out. I pretty much kind of read what goes on social media. A lot of complaints, a lot of negativity. I don't think we need that in town. We need to make Big Spring a better town. We look back, I reflect, this position was unopposed. Now we have 5 candidates. So I urge those that are coming out to vote to look at our bios. Don't make it a popularity contest. Read the bios, read the experience. What do we offer? So again, I am running for District 4, City Council. Please come out and vote.
Next up is David Scott.
Well, I have to agree with Mr. Saldivar. Voter apathy is rampant and it's an issue I can't fix and we can't fix, but those out there that are paying attention, that have a desire to have their voice heard, they can fix it. They just come out and vote. And I agree. I urge all registered voters to come out. It's important to have you to have your say. And you may not think it matters, but it does. My name is David Scott, and I'm running for District 4. And I want to thank all of you for being here. And I want to say these have been some awesome questions. And I've been stretched a little tonight. Thanks.
Daniel Moreno.
Big Spring's not only a community, but we're a family. When someone passes away, when tragedy strikes, or when someone gets terminally ill, we put all our differences aside and we put our differences aside and we help those people. And the reason I ran is because I was just driving around town one day saying this needs to be done. And I just said, you know what, I'm not gonna talk about it, but I'm gonna be about it. And so I threw my name in the file. And whether I win or lose, I just wanna motivate the millennial generation that we have a voice too, and show that the older generation that we do care about this city too. And my name is Daniel Moreno, and I'm running for City Council District 5.
Camila Strandy.
Thank you for your attention this evening. I know it's getting late and we're all starting to get a little tired. In this race for City Council District 5, I'm the experienced candidate, but I'm also young enough to be fresh and have a new vision for our community. I firmly believe that I'm the best candidate for this seat at this time. I hope that you will agree and you will vote for me, Camila Strandy, so that we can work together to make Big Spring a better place to live, to do business, and to raise a family.
Nadine Reyes.
Thank you again for taking the time to come out. I do want to say I know that I've expressed my determination for the future of our children, and I believe that it is not just going to take one person to make these changes. It's going to take a village. And I know with the educators, school board, superintendents, principals, and our community, most of all, that is what it's going to take to make the changes. So I'd like to be a part of that. Vote Nadine Reyes, District 7. Thank you.
Give it up for Fabian Serrano.
Very similar to what you have heard, very similar to what Ms. Reyes said. For everyone that's here, that's running for whatever seat, and those of you that win, I'd like to ask that you become part of that network, that you come together, that we help each other out. City Council, Mayor, Big Spring ISD, everyone just working together to do what's best for this community. And so I ask for your vote to continue being part of that team of 8, the 7 school board members and the superintendent of the school district, so that we continue this progress that we've currently been working on. And so I'm Fabian Serrano, running for re-election of Big Spring ISD District 7 school board position. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Cooper Miller. The video of this evening's presentation will be publicly available on YouTube. An edited version of tonight's presentation will be available on Big Spring High School's YouTube channel, and you can find the YouTube channel on the high school's website under the announcement link. Thank you all for coming, and drive safe.